All right, we'll call the meeting to order. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom.
Here.
Ms. Lehman.
Here.
Ms. Lewis.
Here.
Mr. Nally.
Here.
Mr. Price.
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting on May 26th, 2026, please?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lewis. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bloom. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Lewis.
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom.
Yes.
Ms. Lehman.
Yes.
Mr. Nally.
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion. Moving on to legislative report.
Just a couple items. There's so many bills out there that are going on right now. I just pulled a couple out that I thought kind of jumped out at me. One is Senate Bill 450. The reason this one jumped out at me, it's appropriation of $600 million that by the Senate. And what they're looking at is those dollars going to like the bottom 25% of the districts in the state. And then there's, I think, about 4 or 5 categories that they have to meet. And one of them is being in that bottom 25%. Just the thing that jumped out at me was the amount, 600 million. And where have we heard that number before? That's what the our legislature gave for the Brown Stadium. And, so now it's kind of like that same number, and that's the only reason that one jumped out at me. And knowing that we definitely aren't going to see any of those dollars. And one of the other areas that you had to have not received monies from OFCC in the past. So I knew that it wasn't going to affect us. Also, there was House Bill 523, which is Future Educators Support Act. And basically, it's talking again about financial support for student teachers. And they also added on there this, when I read this, was and teaching as an in-demand job. So I didn't know if they were trying to open that up a little bit more beyond student teachers. Like if we have other individuals who want to teach or sub, and they have to go back and get some credentials. So I just kind of wondered what they were trying to slip in there or making that a little bit different. But that did pass the House, and it's on to the Senate. There's also Senate Bill 328, which is to create a middle school career exploration course. And, what jumped out at me there was I think that we're kind of ahead of the curve based on some of the things we're already doing in the middle school, kind of in preparation for the high school years. And so I thought that was a positive, and kind of knowing that we're a little bit ahead of the curve. Not that there's not sometimes bumps in the road, but it's something positive for us. And then the other one that I thought I kept reading it and trying to dig deeper into it was House Bill 645, which is zero. It talks about zero-based budgeting in development of the state budget, but it says every 10 years. So they do a budget every 2 years, but then every 10 years they want, as I'm reading it, want it to be zero based. You know, it, as I understand, the zero based is basically you throw everything out and then you say, okay, we have this pot of money. Where does it go? And, you know, to some people, I think it probably makes sense, but to others, you know, I look at it and, you know, we as a school district have worked to get to a certain point and rely on those dollars coming in. And I'm sure that happens across our state in other areas that are getting dollars, whether it be cities or county government or whatever. And I just think that would be something scary because it doesn't recognize the work that you've put in to get to a certain point in all the different areas. So those are the bills that kind of jumped out at me for various reasons. But like I said, you can dig into it, and you know, there's, I don't want to say hundreds, but probably hundreds of bills to look at. But so that's all I had. I didn't know if anybody had any comments about it.
That last one that you talked about, the thing that would scare me is we know that they're already using for school funding 2 to 3 year old data to figure out funding. So if every 10 years they're going to go zero based, but what are they using for their guidelines as to what the fund? Are they at that 10-year mark? Are they using data that's 3 years old?
Right.
I mean,
Or older.
or older. I mean, who knows? I would think they would try to fix what they have for funding now and budget before they try to add something else. But that's not usually what Columbus does. I get it. They just keep adding on to stuff to make it more convoluted. But that's what would scare me is what data are you going to use? Are you going to use real-time stuff, or are we going to go ancient and say, well, back in the 70s, I mean, you might as well use that. Why not? It's a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Megan, that last House Bill 645 might be a good one for you to maybe look into.
Just bury my head in the sand until it blows up in my face.
Yeah, maybe not. Just, I mean, that's just, I mean, all of them, I mean, had some concern, but that one might be concerning enough that we might want to
keep an eye out.
Keep an eye on it and keep the board abreast.
Thank you.
All right. No walk-on items tonight? Nobody's here to address the board, so we can move that. So moving on to the superintendent's report.
Well, thanks for having me this evening.
The assistant superintendent's report tonight.
Yes. So in your folders, you saw a Ohio State Test OST data chart. So we did receive all of our state testing scores back, with the exception of our third grade English Language Arts, or ELA, which is common. We take it paper-based. We'll get those results back next Monday, June 15th, which is just about right every year. So all districts are waiting for those. So just some things I wanted to point out, and I thought this would be kind of a shorter report, to be honest. So I think it might be just a minute longer because we've got some great things to talk about. So everything highlighted green on there is going to shows growth in one way or another. And what we saw over the year was some significant growth. So I'm just going to go over some key highlights for different grade levels. And if you have questions, please stop me. So the first one would be grade 4 math. We saw a 9% jump from last year. So our fourth graders last year had a certain percentage of competency, and we grew 9% this year. So we went up from, hold on real quick, went from 69% to 78%, which that's a big jump, and those are some high numbers. So I was really, really proud of our kids. What we also saw, though, with that is last year in third grade, they were our current fourth graders well, our fourth graders who just finished, we'll say, our current fourth graders were at 64% for their math third grade test. This year's fourth graders, they went up to 78%. So they also showed progress from year to year, and more students showed more than 1 year's progress from year to year. So I thought that was a really great stat to share. Grade 4 ELA, we did grow from last year. Fifth grade ELA and math, they remain steady. Atkinson and Otis, they did show growth, those two specific buildings. But overall, as a grade level, we stayed steady, which is fine. Always looking to grow, but also, looking to maintain as well. Fifth grade starts science testing. So we did see growth at Otis as well with our science test from last year's fifth grade to this year's fifth grade. Then we can move on to grade 6. We have ELA and math. We did show growth from last year's. Grade 7, their testing scores remain steady. Looking at 8th grade was another area that we saw a pretty good jump. So let me flip my page here. So 8th grade ELA, we grew 9% as 7th graders were at 50%, and now as 8th graders are at 66%. So you see an overall growth from grade levels, but then you see from 7th to 8th grade, you also see additional scores, right? That were higher this year than what they were last year. Math grew 3% from 7th grade. So 8th grade, 7th grade scores were, they grew 3%. So we had that growth there. And we also grew 9% from last year's 8th graders. So we see a 9% gain in that math area as well. Any questions so far?
So like the low test scores, those are like the 20s. So we'll take 6th grade ELA.
Yep.
Like 26% to 27%.
Yes, so we did see a bit of a growth there.
But what does that mean, though? I mean,
thank you for that. That means that 26% of our kids were showing a competency score on the test. So they're showing that they, for lack of a better way to put it, they passed the test with a higher score. So that's what we're looking to grow that. And you will see from 5th grade ELA to 6th grade ELA, you will see a bit of a dip. Mm-hmm. And there are different kids tested within that area as well. So our students are identified as gifted in 5th grade, take the 5th grade Ohio State test. When they move up to 6th grade, though, they're really moving to 7th grade curriculum. So we have to test them at 7th grade. So we miss those students there, those scores. We have fewer students counting in that score at 6th grade. We've historically seen a dip there, and we've been working to address it. And those 6th grade ELA teachers have also been working really hard and taking the reins to address it. And we're exploring different profession development. We've also have new curriculum, K to 5. So we're hoping to see that growth continue.
So just a question off of that. So a gifted student actually skips a grade when it comes to the testing?
Yes, because the curriculum they're taught is the next grade up, and you test them at the grade level that the curriculum that you're testing or that you're teaching them is what you test them on.
Right. Okay.
So let's say you got 2 years of low test scores. Would it maybe look like the subjects are maybe too hard, the new materials are too hard, or how would that go?
Not at this point, because it's still pretty new. And what our elementary curriculum is based off elementary standards. So we need to keep teaching to those standards and encouraging our kids and working with them and giving them the tools and the resources to rise to the occasion and rise to that standard. Okay. And we are seeing that even in our day-to-day classrooms.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so this is just one little measure. It's a major measure, and I recognize that, and I won't make excuses or anything, but this is just one area of measurement. If you look at our day-to-day measurements, you're also seeing some significant growth as well, like in our iReady scores, which is our reading assessments that we give 3 times a year. So this is one measurement. We'll keep watching this, and we're hoping for the best with that. And our teachers are really, really working hard, and in turn, our students are working even harder.
I think we need to get beyond hope.
Yeah.
But when I look at this, I like to look at the positive, but I also, what are some of the concerns that you've identified? And obviously, some of those concerns must go from school to school.
Reading levels. Our kids are coming in as a whole a little bit lower than they have in the past reading, and our standards continue to rise, and that's okay. So that's one area. Also, attendance. I believe some of our test scores are growing because our attendance rates are growing. Our kids are coming to school. Our chronic absenteeism is dropping as well, and that also has a lot to do with it. Our parent involvement is really growing, and really it's pretty awesome to see. If you come to our reading nights or our different events at our elementary schools, those places are packed, and it's great conversations being had.
So the demographics, do they play a part in each of those 4 different elementary schools? Because I'm seeing some commonalities here, but then, some of the schools have made some pretty good progress in certain areas, then dip down in others. That's what
I don't know if demographics would be the way to look at it, or if it would. If you look at some of our buildings, could be they have more students with disabilities in their buildings, and typically students with disabilities don't test extremely high on this specific standard.
Okay.
Some do. It just depends on that.
And their
student's
test
level.
scores are added into the total.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It could be too, if you look at a couple of them, we might have a higher absenteeism rate at some of the buildings as well. But I would say that
When you're talking the absenteeism, you're talking in the elementary area.
yes.
Okay.
Like I said, our attendance rates are growing, and we're seeing a lot more increases overall, not just on this one measurement, but in overall measurements as well, which is a positive thing. It's hard to teach kids when they're not here. And as a parent, I'm not nearly as great as my kids' teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Surely, yeah.
Not even close.
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the bottom of that chart, which is mostly or is where you get to the high school
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Testing scores. I know that there was an incentive put out because some of this is also about just effort toward a test.
Yes.
Some of the effort toward tests looks different amongst different types of students. Some kids test well, and just the physical task of testing, they just test well. Some kids are great students and test well. Some kids are great students, have a wonderful report card, but just don't test well. Other kids don't necessarily or have a hard time maybe academically and struggle, but want to put forth that effort and try to do the best they can because our teachers do take the time and our school administrators do take the time to talk about the importance of testing and whatnot. And then there will always be students who just maybe don't feel like that is important enough to put in a bunch of effort and do the abracadabra, as somebody said at graduation, the abracadabra version of testing. But if you look at all these high school areas, there's growth in every area. And I wonder how much of that is attributed to if you do well on your OST, you don't have to take your exam.
Right. Your
final exam. That motivated my own child for sure. But so when we're talking about what do we do and how, some of it could just be motivation, along with um, content and curriculum and things like that.
I agree, but this is also comparing it against the state average.
Mhm.
And when we see a number that's substantially lower than the state average, what are we doing differently to get that up?
Sure.
Is what hits me. I don't want to be a negative Nelly. Nelly. But no, I was just
See what you
looking,
did there, sir.
yeah. But yeah, I was just looking at, when we compare some of the numbers, yes, we've seen can see some significant and some very positive growth. And the other thing that I like about the conversation we're having tonight is a word that I didn't hear at all as an excuse or a reason is COVID. We made it through this whole conversation, and so I just think that's a positive that we're getting beyond that. So
I don't think anyone will argue with you on that one.
what's that?
No one will argue with you on that. We're all ready for that. And I'll just continue on with high school then, because Miss Lewis, you brought up the incentive. If students scored a 700 or above, then they had the option to take a final, and based off their test score, it would average out for their final score, because that should be the end all be all if they've mastered the content. And there was a lot of conversation at the high school about that. The principals and teachers and some of the students were, talking about that. I heard some of the conversations that they were really going to put forth some effort. And you do get frustrated as a teacher. Sometimes you will give a test and you have someone that takes 8 minutes on it. You're like, oh, like that's at least a 40-minute test.
Right.
So you're right. It just depends on the value of it. And that's okay, because it's a learning process. But the high school, in our English language arts 2, we saw 12% growth. Algebra 1, we did see a slight increase. Both of those are above the state average, those percentages. Geometry, we did see it go up a little bit. We are within 5%. We're about 5% lower than the state average. So we're gaining at that. So that was a good area of growth there. Biology, government, American history, we were up 3%, 7%, and 4%. And again, those are all above the state average. So it's very happy to see that, true representation of what our students can do and continue to do. Again, like I said, this is one area of measurement, but it's pretty important. I don't think we're all going to throw our hat in the testing, bucket and say, oh, this is the best thing ever. But, I think that, allowing kids to show what they know in different areas in different ways is appropriate, because as adults, we all take tests and we all get challenged in different ways. And these are good areas of practice where there's still a good safety net for our kids at all levels.
Mm-hmm. I will be really curious. This is going to be a multi-year study, but I will be really curious with the new ELA curriculum, this year's kindergartners, the kiddos that just finished up kindergarten, to track them through their senior year and their scores against this year's score, because this year is the first year that we've used this curriculum, correct?
Correct.
I would be curious to see, like, as those kids progress through, like year by year, you know what I mean? Just, well, when they get to third grade, what their scores end up looking like versus this school year's scores, and then, as time goes on.
Agreed. And we're anxious to get our scores back next Monday. They usually drop in around 8 a.m. and everyone's hovering around their computers waiting. So it's like the golden ticket everyone's waiting for. So. All right. Any additional questions or comments? Okay.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you. That's the end of the report.
Okay.
Me to continue?
Yep. Go ahead and let's move on to recommendations.
So in item 1, we do have, again, some generous donations from Burger King and Krogan Sunshine Committee.
Can I have a motion to approve item 1, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nally. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes, motion's approved.
Thank you. Item 2 is our annual contract with NOECA, or Northern Ohio Educational Computer Association. This allows us to continue running our systems.
Can I have a motion to approve item 2, please?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lehman. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
Item 3 would be the contract with Terra State Community College. We chartered a bus this last weekend for our state track meet because we had so many students go, athletes go. So
Can I have a motion to approve item 3, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion?
I just want to thank Tara for the partnership. So helpful to get the kids down and kind of in a cooler fashion than a school bus. So that was a nice partnership with them.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
okay, the next one is for the approval for the overnight trip from this last weekend, again for our track athletes.
Can I have a motion to approve item 4, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nally. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lehman. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
Item 5 is the approval for a diploma for Miss Anne Marie Gula, who's met all graduation requirements.
Can I have a motion to approve item 5, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion?
Just a comment. I just think it's wonderful to see, and we get these periodically, that some of our former students and students are continuing to make that effort. And it's, I think, a very important thing as they move along in life to get that high school diploma. That's all I had.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved.
All right, so we're moving on now to a couple different items. So the first part is going to be some resignations from Michael Rankin from both middle school and high school football, and then Miss Van Ness from the middle school. Then some appointments. We have Mr. Gonzalez will be at the middle school. Miss Reinhardt will be at Atkinson and Krogan. That's a shared position. And the next page, we have a few new teachers from Ross. We have Sarah Benson for intervention specialist, and then Miss Caitlin Fisher, who we have here tonight. She'll be a new English teacher at Ross. We have a new nurse at St. Joe, or all Bishop Hoffman schools. Miss Tanya Lejeune is retiring, and so Andrea Heberling will be coming in for her. We have a 1-year contract for Stacy Nagy. Her license was just approved. Then we also have some extended days. These are our typical extended days that we've given in the past for work that needs to be done over the summer. Item 11 then is going to be 2 returning coaches for basketball and wrestling already. So, although it's June, we're hiring for winter. We also have coaches here at the bottom here. We have Matthew Oman coming in for middle school football, and then Mr. Juan Vela coming back for girls basketball. Item 13 is going to be approving some student teacher mentors. These are through BGSU, and you'll see some different costs. The college determines that. And sometimes they're split between a few as well. So item 14 is an approval for Miss Stephanie Martin. And then item 15 is going to be 2 additional summer substitutes for Kimberly Lanhart and Libby Pena.
Can I get a motion to approve items 6 through 15, please?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lewis. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lehman. Any discussion?
Welcome, Caitlin.
Yeah.
I hope everything is. I hope you have a great school year coming up. I guess that's what I want to say. Enjoy your summer, but get ready for the kids next year. Uh-huh.
Here we go, right?
I know. Here we go. It'll be good. So my understanding that Rankin isn't coaching anymore. I'm assuming. I mean, he's
Correct.
not.
Yeah.
Best of luck, Mike Rankin. I mean, he was always a good coach to the boys, and brought a lot of good things with him. So I wish you the best of luck. I'll say on that one.
Right. Roll call, please.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved. All right, moving on to report of the treasurer.
Good evening. Just a quick update tonight on our refunding of our bonds. We've been kind of in this holding pattern. We were ready to go in March, and then all of a sudden our interest rates went up, causing our savings to go down. So we have been waiting for the rates to start going down again, which they have. And we are currently about halfway through. Oh, actually, I was wrong. It was January and March. We're about halfway from where the savings were in January to what they fell to in March. So we are still in that wait and see area, but we are still looking to move forward with this because we still have a significant amount of savings that we would be able to utilize with those bonds or the district. So just kind of wanted to give you a quick update on that, since we've kind of we were board approved and ready to go, and then all of a sudden we'd hit a hold. So that is where we're at with the bonds. And in some other news from the wonderful world of finance, the amendment to eliminate property taxes is not going to be on the November of 26, but just be aware it looks to be the intent to bring that in November of 27. So just something that will still be on our radar. My hope would be that this would bring the legislation to really look at what they can do to give relief to real estate taxes and maybe fund schools differently so that we are not really relying so heavily on that local use of real estate taxes, because there are still other entities that do need to utilize real estate taxes. But if they could back off some of school finance or school funding from it, that would probably help a lot. But that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens as this progresses. In the department right now, we are getting ready to clear up for year end. And on the agenda tonight, we have the board or the approval for sub grants, which is a yearly thing we do so that we can have federal grants in the district, and we can utilize those funds that Miss Abby works very hard on every year. And this is her favorite time of year to start working, getting that ready for next year. Well, not starting, but. And then we also have the resolution to authorize amenities for participants at meetings and other occasions. This is just for the state auditors to know that we are making purchases to better our staff. This is that they want to make sure when we're purchasing things that aren't directly related to students, this is for staff relations. So we put this on every year to kind of cover that up to $2,000, and then anything that would be above that $2,000 mark, we would come back to the board for approval on.
Well, it's $2,000, but also realizing we have, 500 some employees. So when you break that down, it's about $4 a person. So, and developing those relationships and being supportive, I think is important.
Staff retention is a huge thing, as most people can tell you right now. That's
right.
Pretty difficult. So, yep.
Okay. All right. Can I get a motion to approve item 16 for the federal sub grants, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lehman. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Price. Oh, Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved. And can I get a motion for item 17 for the amenities?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nally. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved. All right, moving on to board member communications. Don.
Yes. Just wishing all of our students and teachers, to have obviously a great start to the summer and just enjoy, and we look forward to seeing you back next year. I had looked over and read the Roscoe report, and I thought there was some very good articles in there, and I think it's great to see how it's broken down within each of the schools, and I know it takes an effort, but I think that's an important thing that we're getting out to the community in terms of communication. I saw the staff retirement booklet that did Brent put that together? I thought that was very nice, and one, I congratulate all those retirees, but I also think that what Brent's doing in terms of, putting together the picture of the individual, and then those were really good write-ups on each individual who's retired. I think again is important that we're recognizing the contribution that those individuals, and someday, Caitlin, yeah, you'll be in the booklet.
We'll turn the page.
Give it a few years. And then just congratulations to all the athletes, especially those that participated in the state events this past weekend. And that's all I had.
Okay. Sarah?
I'm just going to expand on that because we have had a historic track season this year under the leadership of a first-year head coach and Coach Booz. So these kids work hard, play hard, and they pray hard. Seeing pictures of them at the state meet, holding hands, praying before they run. They might have been after they ran. I don't know. But just the cohesion of the team, just a group of great kids on the track team as a whole. We had lots of kids make it to the podium at the state meet. The girls 4x1 got third place. Braxton Jordan, Lexi Nelson, Ashton Marseille, and Kamaya Jones all made it to the podium. The boys 4x1 made it to third place. Jace Miller, Mason England, Ty Brown, Stephen Ryder. The boys 4x2, Stephen Ryder, Kevin Jones Jr., Gabe Wensinger, and Mason England. They placed third. Tiara Parker had one heck of a showing down there at state. She ended up as the state runner-up. So those athletes made it to the podium, but I gotta say, like, just in following here from home, all 18 of those athletes that went down there had a phenomenal showing, and they really put Fremont Ross on the map at the state meet. So we're proud of everybody. Mason England competed in 4 events. I think he set a Division II state record in the hurdle. So just a wonderful job. Mr. Bill Bray does a really nice job on Facebook, just kind of keeping the community abreast as to what's going on with all of our athletes and across different sports. So that was he just cares so much about the athletic department and just our students in general. So also just wanted to acknowledge the BCSN network. They really do, I think, a nice job of recognizing our athletes, our coaches, and just our programs that we have here at Fremont City Schools. And most recently recognizing Melise Lee Garrett with an Inspiration Award. They couldn't have picked a better student athlete to recognize in that manner. So with that, just wish all the students and families a fun and safe summer. Lots of things to do around town, in your community, farmers markets, city pool. Enjoy yourselves and have a great summer.
Laura?
I think they got some programs at rec center too.
Mhm.
They got some of the kids.
Mhm.
Same out of me. I mean, have fun, you guys. Have a good summer. But this goes out to the older kids. I mean, just mind your P's and Q's when you're out partying. And I mean, things can go south real quick when you're making the wrong decisions. We don't want to see that happen. Just use your good common sense. Be there for each other. Always have a plan when you're going to a party. I mean, just be smart about it. You want to return to school. We don't want anything happening. I know I don't like to talk about this, but sometimes you just gotta remind people because it kind of slips through the cracks. So I want everybody to have a great summer, and I want everybody to be safe. So that's what's on the top of my mind right now.
Lori?
Congratulations to the track team. Sounds like they did amazing and they were really, showing up. Hope everybody has a great summer and a safe summer and have a good time and see them all come back.
For staff and students, have a great summer. I guess I'll keep it short and sweet, but take advantage of all the programs that the school district has this summer, whether it's summer school or some tutoring for your kid if they need it. The meal program that is always a huge thing this summer. You can go to the school's website. I'm sure all the information is on there, or call the district office for any of that. If you're in sports, take advantage of all the off-season workouts and all of that. For younger kids, all the camps that are around, the soccer, the football, at volleyball camp, there's everything around being provided. So just take advantage of those opportunities this summer if you're looking to keep your kid a little busier than just sitting around doing nothing. So with that, could I have a motion for adjournment, please?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bloom. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lehman. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Lehman,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Nally,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes, motion's approved. Meeting's adjourned.